Alright, so welcome everybody. This is going to be game number 1 in a best of 5 between ACCM and BadBoy on the north of map in blue and green versus StonePlease and Barles in Empire Wars Duo round of 16s. This is going to be Arabia, the first game of the series. We will have StonePlease in Mayans in red, we have Barles in Slavs in yellow. And for ACCM's team, we have BadBoy as Ethiopians in blue and Huns for ACCM in green. Very, very standard Arabia civilizations, I would say, in this one. Anyways, we are going to have an exposed gold mine over here for Barles. He's going to drop the stable on the front because of that, and he even goes out to grab some huntables for himself while he can. He knows that this is going to be pushed pretty early on, so he wants to grab as much food as he can as he's going to start adding scouts in this one. Meanwhile, double range archers coming in here for StonePlease with the addition of extra eagles, so he's going to play this one very, very aggressively. Eagles already moving forward towards ACCM's base. ACCM playing with scouts apparently over here, also going for the huntables while he can, and we already have BadBoy walling quite massively over here. He's the one that commits the most towards walling. Scouts moving in here right now for Barles as the first spearman pops out, and this could be a villager pick because the villagers are actually blocking the path of the scout. Nice micro so far from Barles, and he is definitely disrupting this house construction over here, disrupting the gold mining, which hurts quite a bit for the archer player. Scouts coming in here on the other side as well from ACCM. We have a StonePlease patrolling a spear over here, so he should be fine for a time being, as scouts apparently trying to find another target to hit. BadBoy, even though he is actually trying to fully wall himself here, he's actually quite exposed to the scouts, as he's trying to hopelessly chase down those scouts over here. I am sure that Barles will probably try to go back and snipe that villager once he has the opportunity to do so. Second range coming in here right now. BadBoy also lost a villager over here. You can see the corpse over there, just fading away. And in the meanwhile, though, we will have ACCM rushing in here. StonePlease traps one scout. The other two are also pretty weak in this one. And this isn't looking great for the Vietnamese team right now, because the start was much better for Barles' team. And also, Slavs will have a way better farming eco compared to Huns, so I would also expect a slightly better castle age time here for Barles, or better scout numbers. Right now, BadBoy is just trying to chase down those scouts with archers. But in the meanwhile, we have a StonePlease with a very, very safe base. Picks off one scout over here as well. Those scouts have no other upgrades, and the scouts are going directly towards the base of ACCM. ACCM has no spearmen back at home, and this means that at least one of those villagers could die. A lot of those scouts are weak, but it doesn't change the fact that they will be able to pick off one hunter over here in this one. Is this live? Yes, it is. It is completely live. Archers from BadBoy moving forward right now. It appears that Barles will be fully walled here, even though all of his wood lines can be exposed to archers, so it's not going to be perfect. And it seems like StonePlease wants to do some team walls in the future, but that's going to take some time. Scouts moving in here again as a spearman comes in finally for ACCM. Nice defense so far, and those scouts are pretty weak, so I don't think they will really be able to pick off more villagers here with the tower and the spearman helping. Let's see what damage BadBoy can cause here with the archers. I really like Barles' base layout and the tower over here to protect the gold, but as I said, the villagers on the wood are a tiny bit exposed to the archers' aggression, which is pretty bad over here in this one. Barles still kind of far away from Castle Age. In the meanwhile, though, BadBoy is actually getting close, and that could be pretty dangerous. What is StonePlease doing? StonePlease also not far away from Castle right now. He's playing North Korea Simulator back at home, with the archers just moving out. No spearmen to protect them, which is a little bit dangerous. And we already have ACCM going out to Castle Age. He lost a villager, but remember that he didn't really invest into a lot of scouts. He had like 4 or 5 scouts, and that is it, right? And, well, this one actually could be pretty dangerous over here for Barles. He is getting close to clicking up to Castle Age, but his walls are being broken through. And even though he does have a few scouts over here with bloodlines, that's not an upgrade that ACCM would have. He is waiting for the +1 armor so far, dropping a house to delay this aggression. With +1 armor and bloodlines, he might be able to engage this one, but quite a lot of those scouts are low HP, so even with that, that is going to be a hard defense to pull off. Archers coming in to help here from StonePlease, but archers are slow moving here, so it's going to take some time until they arrive. Nice defense so far from Barles. That's going to be a nice second layer, even though he's going to have to give up on his berries in order to be able to save his base. For Slavs, it might not be that big issue because their farming eco is still amazing. Anyways, Castle Age coming in here for everybody but Barles. So his investment into scouts did pay off because he picked off quite a lot of villagers, but in the end he's going to be the last player to click up into castle, probably in a few seconds in this one, and we're probably going to see a big fight over here. In terms of Castle Age times, I think that StonePlease would be better off if he waited for Castle Age, but he doesn't know how far BadBoy is towards Castle Age, so we might actually see an engagement over here. Normally you want to use your crossbows against the archers, and that is a possibility for StonePlease, because he's going to have a better Castle Age time than his opponent is going to have. Now, ACCM does have Bloodlines and +1 armor, and soon Knights will start to pop out, and I want to point out that BadBoy is pretty safe over here in the corner. His gold mine isn't great, but he's going to TC this one later on, so he should be fine. And in the meanwhile, Barles is getting chased down here. They are just trying to take this fight after they pick off the Spearman. And, let's see, Forging not coming in here for Barles. It seems like this is the moment when they take the fight, and this could be a perfect fight for StonePlease and Barles, but the archers need to fire. And they pick off the scouts from ACCM. BadBoy is able to save the archers, and that's what matters, but StonePlease will be probably able to hold this hill over here and defend. For now, Knights are coming in though, and those Knights could be pretty dangerous to those archers, so you kind of have to pull those back. Only +1 armor though, +2 is just coming in here for ACCM. And in the meanwhile, crossbow on the way for StonePlease. That is actually pretty nice upgrades already on those boys, coming in with a second town center, third town center as well. So no fast ballistics here from StonePlease. He wants to go for the economical approach. And in the meanwhile, BadBoy is also up to castle here. No additional TCs just yet. He goes for the fast ballistics, so he's going to play this one aggressive. Ethiopian crossbows with fast ballistics here is actually something that could be pretty devastating against StonePlease, or more important, against Barles. And that would be the plan, I think. BadBoy needs to push Barles here, because all of those woodlines are exposed. Some farmers might even be picked off here at the edge, and apparently Barles is just going to fully wall himself. With stone walls. Knights coming in here, there might be a hole. Yeah, there is, and the Knights actually flood into StonePlease's eco. StonePlease is going to have to run away from this one. Still no ballistics, so chasing down those Knights is a little bit more problematic. On the other side of things, those Knights will have nowhere to run, so all of those Knights could actually get cleaned up. We will see if this is worth it for ACCM. He killed like one villager so far. Losing like 5 Knights for one villager might not really be worth it, but you need to quick wall this in order to trap the Knights within. And that's going to happen, indeed. It's a trap! So yeah, there's a lot of disruption being caused over here. But as I said, those Knights getting killed over here might not be worth it for ACCM. What is great for Vietnam though is that here comes the Knights from ACCM, and there is also a lot of crossbows with fast ballistics over here, +2 armor as well. This is kind of super aggressive 1 TC play over here from BadBoy. 3 ranges, and he's gonna dive right into Barles' base. Barles, no siege workshop to defend against this one. He does have a few Knights, but now he's in trouble, forced to abandon that watchtower, and when the Knights start to flood in, he's going to be in trouble, and since StonePlease is back at home with the crossbows, it's going to take forever for him to get there. That is not looking great, I would say, for Barles and StonePlease in this one. Barles apparently going back here to grab another gold mine. Now, the eco in the long run is going to be way better for Barles and StonePlease, or at least they should be better, because StonePlease is on 3 TCs, Barles is going to be on 2, and in the meanwhile, you only have 1 town center for BadBoy, but somehow BadBoy has a better eco than Barles right now, which is a bit of a problem here for Barles. And you also have 3 TCs here for ACCM. He just loves Hans so much, and he's so precise with it, keeps up the Knight production. Thumbring also coming in here for BadBoy. Those will be fully upgraded Castle Age Ethiopian crossbows. Extremely lethal in this combination. Now, let's see what StonePlease has here. StonePlease just coming in with ballistics. I don't think he has Thumbring. He doesn't have +2 armor, so this could be an awful fight for them. Heal advantage on the side of BadBoy as well in this one. So, this could be a deciding fight. +2 armor only for Barles, and +2 as well for ACCM. Anyways, for now it seems like BadBoy is pulling back, but he's probably just going to take this hill and then rain down death on top of those crossbows from StonePlease. StonePlease is massively out-teched over here, to be honest. No extra armor, no Thumbring, ballistics just came in. He kind of needs to just camp a hill until he gets Thumbring for himself. Even then it's going to be tough because those are Ethiopian crossbows. Anyways, We're gonna have an extension of the wall over here, and StonePlease also sending quite a lot of vultures to stone. So we could see castle for plumed archers soon. ACCM and BadBoy have crazy good ecos. Barles is actually quite a bit behind in terms of economy. I'm not sure what's happening to him, but now with 2 TCs, BadBoy is actually able to keep the vulture difference between him and Barles, and that's the biggest concern right now for Barles' team, as we have a big clash over here. They are trying to push the gold mine here from BadBoy, and BadBoy has to abandon that, but I think this was a pretty awful fight for StonePlease here. He is fighting against fully upgraded Ethiopian crossbows, no +2 armor still for StonePlease. Forging just coming in here for ACCM for those knights, and Barles still without forging, so those are going to be better knights and better crossbows, but honestly, the fact that BadBoy had to abandon his gold mine for a moment means that he kind of had to stop producing crossbows, and also, if they don't take this fight, then they might lose these archer ranges. Look at this, Siege Workshop being rushed up here. Why is BadBoy and ACCM not taking this fight? I don't understand. They have fully upgraded Ethiopian crossbows. I mean, they would fight up hills, but it's better than losing the front of your base and losing your production like that. Reinforcements being picked off over here. I think they might be waiting for ACCM's upgrades here, but they are just losing all the archer ranges, so I'm not sure if I like this approach or not. There's going to be a mangonel coming in, but with this many knights around, there is no way that mangonel can really be a factor in this game. They might take this fight right now, but they lost 2 production buildings, so BadBoy is going to have a hard time replenishing his archers. If Barles can get a good angle, there is the mangonel, there is the mangonel! That's a big shot, and the mangonel is still alive. Another big shot coming in here, misses the target though. The crossbows had to run away though, and this means that the knights were able to take a good fight over here. +1 attack for ACCM, Barles has no +1 attack, and slowly, as I see it, Barles' cavalry is getting cleaned up. A lot of weak knights here though, so StonePlease might actually be able to survive this fight, but they're gonna get pushed back. As I said, they're just getting massively out-teched over here. Just a way better upgrades for the Vietnamese team, and those crossbows are just destined to die. Oh boy, oh boy. In the meanwhile, we have a gift sub from Avalanches to Johannes. Thank you so much, Avalanches, for the gift sub. And we also have ACCM and BadBoy taking revenge for those destroyed archer ranges as they push right into Barles' base. Barles is waiting to take this fight, but look at BadBoy, and this is why I said that BadBoy is a very underrated player in this setup. He's actually going into Imperial, has a pretty solid eco, he's gonna have Arbalasts very soon. Right now, Barles still has gold to play around with, but honestly, StonePlease isn't really close to going into Imperial. He is still getting out-teched quite massively in terms of armor, and I think he doesn't even have Thumbring. Armor is just coming in. What could be interesting though is that the plumed archers could change the fight here, honestly, for StonePlease. But he needs plumed archer numbers, and also what they could do is try to pressure the eco of ACCM a tiny bit, because ACCM also has a crazy eco behind this one. 92 in comparison to Barles having 78. For now, Barles does have gold income, but his food income is extremely low because the majority of his farmers are idle. And we might see a counterattack over here. He might just think, okay, the TC is going to hold off the crossbows, and the crossbows from StonePlease are going to be able to defend here against the knights. So we will have BadBoy diving in. There's actually a hole, which means that the crossbows can walk right through the base of Barles in this one. And yes, indeed, the plan here for Barles is just to do a counterattack. Try to kill as much eco as you can from ACCM. The problem is that both Vietnamese players are going into Imperial here, and Barles isn't even close to clicking up here with Slavs. He needs to kill a lot of eco here from ACCM, like 20-30 villagers, otherwise ACCM will still be able to get the Cavalier, +4 armor upgrades, and then just smash him. Now, let's see if we're gonna get some plumed archers in here for StonePlease. Not really, he's going into Imperial, and here come the Night Raid from Barles. Let's see how many villagers he can kill. ACCM at 97 villagers right now. Barles is at 84, as the knights are just galloping through the entire base of Barles, trying to get a good angle on top of those crossbows, and that's still a lot of crossbows that could die. And Arbalest is also coming in here for BadBoy. He's gonna have fully upgraded Ethiopian Arbalasts very, very soon here in Imperial. this is looking pretty bad. But honestly, if StonePlease can trade those crossbows to these crossbows, this could still work out okay. Because trading crossbows to crossbows is acceptable if your opponent is about to upgrade them to arbalests. So I would dare to say that this is a fight that StonePlease could actually try to take and lower those numbers. And ACCM also lost quite a lot of villagers over here. Villagers going down on the gold mines. ACCM also lost some farmers, and ACCM is down to 80 villagers, which is the lowest in the entire game. Now, Arbalest is going to kick in here, as StonePlease is also trying to save his crossbow numbers, so he can get Arbalest for himself. But look at BadBoy. And as I said, he's a very, very underrated player. Capdram coming in here already. He is pushing with Rams. How is Barles doing? He is still very far from Imperial. I think that this counterattack did quite a lot of damage to ACCM, but it's not going to be enough to compensate for the lack of eco that Barles is having right now. And with StonePlease dropping down to 10 military, Barles at 10 as well, BadBoy is just going to steamroll this one here with 48 military. Soon Arbalests. In fact, he cancelled the Arbalest upgrade. I think that's just a mistake. That's probably a mistake. He has like 8 crossbows queued up. He needs a lot more production buildings, by the way, like 3 more ranges. But he accidentally cancelled Arbalest, it seems, because he does have Bracer, he does have Chemistry, and yeah, he probably just misclicked and accidentally cancelled Arbs. Which is a pretty big deal here, because you don't want to lose your crossbows if they are upgrades. But still, I mean, there is going to be Arbalests very soon, Siege Rams, and StonePlease isn't really in a position to take this fight alone against 2 opponents. The mobility advantage is always on the side of Vietnam, as ACCM does have the cavalry mobility. There is some raids, as I said, from Barles, but unless Barles is able to reboom here, this is not gonna work. Knights could actually fight a decent engagement here, but I don't think it's going to be enough now that the Orbs are out. Arbalest will just melt those Knights. And I'm pretty sure Barles is now dead. And in the meanwhile, Arbalest also find the villagers from StonePlease. Arabia is in the hands of the Vietnamese team. And it's not just ACCM coming in very strong. I have to say that BadBoy played just as good as ACCM. Right? He had a consistent archer production. And yeah, his eco was alright. His start wasn't perfect, I would say, because he got pushed quite hard by the scouts. But other than that, he actually played insanely good. The fast ballistics, the thumbring, and this is a pretty confident win for Vietnam over here. Let's take a look at the stats. BadBoy 127 kills to 55 deaths. That's actually pretty solid. In fact, it's better than ACCM's KD. So I might dare to say that in this game, it might have been BadBoy playing a tiny bit better than ACCM. Then we have the food count for ACCM, just way better. The eco really kicked in there for the Huns. And overall, the villager counts. StonePlease had a great villager count with Mayans over here, but the problem was that Barles was just so weak in terms of economy. He got pushed quite hard by BadBoy, and he wasn't able to defend against that one good enough to compensate. And this means that we are gonna go into game number 2, which is going to be on one of the home maps from StonePlease's team, which is River Belt or Kawasan. Now, the thing is that River Belt, this might be the first time we're going to see River Belt, but it's a pretty similar map to Golden Swamp. I'm actually curious to see what map they're going to choose. Or they could go for Kawasan, which is a little bit more traditional map. I would say that they could actually attempt going for the Golden Stream map, because that is new to everybody. And that basically means that... wait, is it Golden Stream or River Belt? I completely forgot. Oh, it's a River Belt, not Golden Stream. Aha. For whatever reason, I thought that it's actually Golden Stream, but River Belt... I'm somewhat surprised that they went for River Belt. It's one of the most aggressive maps out there. And I would say that Barles and StonePlease are more like late game players in comparison to ACCM and BadBoy. So in early micro fights, I would favor the Vietnamese team over them. Oops. Yeah, bracket singular equals RBW2 because that's the command I didn't actually update. It's what you get when you're using the bracket command. Yeah, basically that much. In fact, like 3 weeks ago, we still had the Fair Civs Cup brackets in that brackets command, so you can tell that I'm not frequently updating those commands, although I'm doing my best. Alright, so game number 2 coming in here very soon, hopefully. I don't see the lobby, but it's going to appear at some time. And this one, I'm just gonna check out on AoE2.net if they are in the game. Make your mods do it? Yeah, that'll be one way to do it. I think it's always Robo changing it anyways. So, it's either Riverbelt or Kawasan. So, Riverbelt is extremely aggressive. Probably the most aggressive map out there. It's somewhat similar to Wings that we have seen in Red Bull World 2. It's basically a center swamp that's like shallows. And the outside circle is also a layer of water, and in the corners you have islands with gold and stone, and there is also a layer of land in the circle, which is where the players spawn, very, very close to each other, super aggressive map, very, very micro-based, something that is close to gameplay, I would say, compared to like Land Madness, for example, or as I said, Wings, or pretty similar maps. So Voling isn't really an option over there. Super, super aggressive strategies is what I'm expecting here from the players. Potentially with a lot of towers as well. Now, let's take a quick look at the draft while we're waiting over here for the players to jump into the game. So, looking at the draft, we do have... where is that? Ethiopians, used up by ACCM's team, and Huns. Barles' team has used, where is that? Mayans and Slavs. So for Riverbelt, you could go for a number of interesting civilizations, depending on the approach you go for. Like, if you go super aggressive, something like Magyars would be fun, I would say. Probably alongside something like... maybe Malay or Japanese could be pretty interesting. Or potentially Spanish for towers. That could be also a pretty interesting approach, I would say. On the other side, I don't really see any great civs for Riverbelt. Maybe Vietnamese could be an idea. Maybe Bulgarians if you open Men-at-Arms. That would be pretty interesting to take a look at, honestly. Like a Men-at-Arms towers play with Bulgarians on Riverbelt. Then potentially Byzantines again for towers, but I don't see the clear civilization selection over here for Barles and his team. I wonder what the idea is behind this one, because right now I don't see the concept. Where can I see the brackets? If you use !brackets command, you are going to be able to see that, as Truth Bandicoot is raiding with 85 viewers. Thank you so much for the raid. Hopefully you had a nice stream. I was actually lurking there for some time before I came to stream. Thanks again so much for the raid. Nice to see you having so many viewers. So, yeah, we're waiting for the players to jump into the next game here. Alright, so everybody is in the lobby, and they will actually get the game going in a very, very short amount of time. Thanks again for the raid. This is Empire Wars Duo, a 2v2 Empire Wars tournament featuring quite a lot of high-level players and experts, and indeed there is the game Riverbelt we shall go into. Alright, so welcome everybody. This is going to be the debut of River Belt in the main event of Empire Wars. Do over here ACCM and BadBoy versus StonePlease and Barles in the round of 16. And we will have ACCM playing as Magyars over here in green. And as I said, this is a very, very, very aggressive map over here. The archer ranges touching each other's faces. I have no idea why StonePlease and Barles selected this map, because I feel like I prefer the Vietnamese players at the beginning here, as we're gonna have a tower being dropped here. We have Koreans by BadBoy, and as I said, towering is definitely a strategy on this map. We're gonna have tower and counter tower coming in here as the archer ranges go up for both teams. Super aggressive. I don't even have time to show the players. Portuguese for StonePlease, a decent archer save, and for the shared vision in Feudal Age. And Khmer is a great civ here, because you can jump into your houses, which is much needed on an open map like this. The scout coming in here from ACCM as Barles is trying to wall, but you can't wall on this map. This is so aggressive that it's impossible to wall this one in time. And one of the problems when you're having a tower right next to your archer range is that your archer pops out and it dies because of the tower. Now, the thing is that this tower from ACCM is pretty weak already, and the scout is also coming in here for Barles. ACCM is in danger of losing that tower, and that would be a pretty significant issue. Barles losing the first scout over here to the villagers and the tower, as you also have scouts coming in from ACCM. There's also a Belt of River, but apparently that is not going to have a massive importance up until to this point. If the tower goes down here, BadBoy is going to be in a big trouble, because his villagers will be exposed to archers right away, and indeed he's adding skirmishers. So we are gonna have indeed the tower going down, and these villagers will have to run for their lives. Scouts from Barles coming in here to kill the skirms. Meanwhile, there's also scouts coming in here from ACCM though, and that means that Barles is running for his life, jumping into the houses. This is why Khmer is a so great civilization selection over here. Scouts galloping through the map. And I do agree with the decision from Barles to try and help out for StonePlease here and pressure BadBoy, because you can defend against the scouts here with the spearman, as it appears that ACCM is gonna run into that spear. And yeah, you can just jump into the houses, but in the meanwhile, you can actually pressure BadBoy's eco here quite hard. Archer's already here, and that is going to be one villager going down, another villager could go down, and the skirmishers will just die to the scouts here. These scouts still unable to inflict a lot of damage so far, and right now BadBoy is just trying to chase them down, but that gold mine is dangerously exposed, I would say. Meanwhile, Barles is actually apparently trying to wall himself as much as possible, but of course you cannot wall these shallows, so you will always be open unless you like fully surround yourself with walls, but that seems impossible. Right now, the lowest villager count actually belongs to Barles with 35. StonePlease at 38, and the other players are also at 38 or 36. Now the tower could help quite a lot against those Magyar scouts. +1 attack only, that's something that you get with Magyars, and no upgrades on Barles' scouts. And it appears that the reinforcements for ACCM are finally able to push back BadBoy here, at least for the moment. Anyways, this is going to allow Barles to be walled on this side of the map, and we're gonna have a dock coming in here for StonePlease. That is actually going to allow you to have a quite decent eco behind this one. And yeah, honestly, it's very tough to get a perfect comparison to this map from the already existing maps. But this is like Land Madness with the option to fish in the longer run. And that allows you to compensate for the massive fights in the middle. But this is a very feudal heavy map, very micro heavy map. And we're gonna have the Magyar scouts coming in here. Still, the extra attack is there. But as Barles is coming in with the extra armor, that fight should be pretty much even. And the Khmer farming is going to be really kicking in comparison to ACCM's Magyars. ACCM was also dropping a dog though, so his food eco is going to be pretty nice, as well as one villager goes down here from Barles. Barles is down to 39 villagers, but the spearman comes in here to help. Archers from BadBoy could actually pick that spearman off, and then again, the advantage will be on the side of ACCM and BadBoy. So after a scary start, they are actually coming back into this one. Triple ranges from StonePlease. He really wants to commit to this one, as a defensive tower comes in here from Barles to defend the wood line. Those scouts now have +1 armor, so they can actually take this fight. And since there is no spearman here to help, this is actually a legitimate fight for Barles to take. Picks off some scouts. In the meanwhile, we are gonna have what could be a push from StonePlease. I could imagine StonePlease going triple range Archer Skirm and pushing this gold mine to push away BadBoy from the gold, because I feel like streaming these reinforcements across the map isn't as beneficial as it looks like. I feel like it's better to just knock out BadBoy from the game, push him off the gold. But, of course, it might be just Barles calling for help here. He doesn't really have a safe wood line to work with. He loses another Voyager trying to house wall this one. Scouts coming in here. They are still missing bloodlines, so they're actually pretty vulnerable to the Spearman. As on the left side, we also have Archers and Skirms coming in here. So, I feel like this is still something that you should do. Push BadBoy instead of trying to help out for Barles. Because if BadBoy loses the reinforcements here, then Barles can still clean this one up with a few scouts, and he can jump into the houses against the scouts of his opponent. Right now, that's actually a pretty aggressive push here from Vietnam, and I feel like StonePlease might need to add a little bit more skirms here in this one. Now, he actually has a great eco behind this one, so probably one of the reasons why he is actually falling behind in terms of military compared to BadBoy is because he's also adding fish. BadBoy just started to add fish in this one, and apparently everybody else is going to have quite a lot of fishing geek over here. First fire galley is just coming out for Barles though, so he could actually push away ACCM's fish here very fast. ACCM is actually going with double docks for the fishing, and in the end we are gonna have a cleanup over here. Skirm's really helping out in this one, and with that, this is the moment when StonePlease needs to go potentially heavy on skirms, get some reinforcements from Barles in the form of scouts, and try to push BadBoy. Because one thing that we didn't notice while I was actually talking about the fights here is that ACCM went for a Castle Age click-up. This is why the flow of scouts actually stopped. There is actually Castle Age now for ACCM. Coming in with double stable knights, Bo5 +2 armor as well. He does have a great fishing eco behind this one, which could be destroyed by this fire galley, as you will see a fire galley coming in here from StonePlease. But in this very moment, I feel like the best thing that StonePlease and Barles can do is just knock out BadBoy from the game. This gold mine is so exposed that you could just push him away from there, and then this gold mine is still there, but it's also quite exposed for raiding. So I would say that you can definitely try to push your opponent away, and apparently we are actually gonna have full team walls here, believe it or not. It's extremely hard to wall this map because of the shallows in the middle, as the knights will actually break in here. But if these walls finish, there is also a hole over there, we could actually see full team walls. Now, it would have been nicer if this one was walled over here, but it isn't, as StonePlease is just trying to desperately rush up a wall. You can tell that he knows that the archers are coming this way. One Voyager goes down, as he's still trying to finish the walls. Skirm should be able to clean this one up, but it's going to cost quite a lot of Voyagers in this one. Anyways, 1 TC here for ACCM as he's trying to push his way into the base of his opponent. That's +2/+2 knights. Those are extremely devastating over here, as Barles just trying to finish his walls here in time so that he doesn't lose a lot more Voyagers. If these walls finish, I would say that Barles and StonePlease might be in a slightly better spot, because they will have a more or less untouched deco, but as long as they're losing Voyagers like this, the advantage is still in the hands of ACCM and BadBoy. They need to finish those walls, and then we can talk about it. I mean, this wall isn't going to be useful, because now the back of Barles' base is still open from the left. You need to walk to the edge of the water, otherwise this is not gonna work. Here, the better Portuguese fire galleys will really help you out in these fire galley fights, but this is both Vietnamese players in a Castle Age, and there is nowhere to run for those skirms and archers. This is an absolute slaughter here in the middle, because there's absolutely nowhere to run. No corners to take, no towers to jump back into, absolutely nothing to defend those skirms from the +2/+2 knights, and honestly, those archers might just die before they upgrade to crossbows, which would be an ultimate disaster here. And it appears that the base is also open, so those knights could just gallop straight into the eco, which again would be extremely devastating. Few archers running around here and there, not really inflicting a lot of damage. Where is Barles with the reinforcements though? He's coming in with the battle elephants, and we have seen elephants being a very, very strong, dominant unit here, but oh boy. Oh boy, that's a lot of dead Voyagers. As I said, archers just died. All of the archers died before getting to Castle Age. It's 6 military for StonePlease. If he hadn't moved out with those archers and just stayed back home, he would have like 20 crossbows to defend. That's another TC denied. Unless the battle elephants can save StonePlease somehow. I don't see this one happening for them. A very, very aggressive game, and the start was decent from them, but now it looks pretty ugly. Losing all those archers was probably the final nail in the coffin. So, I think they could have survived the initial raids that picked off quite a lot of villagers from them, but losing that many archers, while BadBoy hasn't lost anything, was just a disaster. Now, those elephants could actually kill all those archers, and elephants need to move before the crossbows actually break out, but yeah, we're just not gonna see that. StonePlease is gonna call it. He drops down to 44 eco, Barles at 46, and despite the fact that this is seed number 8, ACCM's team, versus seed number 9, Barles' team, this looks extremely solid so far from the Vietnamese team. That is a 2-0 advantage right now for them. And looking at the KD, ACCM 60 kills, 17 deaths. That's crazy. So yeah, that's just something to take a look at, and that 29 to 73 KD actually hurts quite a bit. I'm somewhat confused at the map selection from StonePlease and Barles, to be honest, because this is so aggressive that, like, this map is so aggressive that I'm just somewhat surprised that they went for this. Because normally I would think that ACCM and BadBoy are better in messy games and stuff like that. And yeah, so much for that. Look at that drop. This is basically a drop that lost the game here for their team. This significant loss of military, and if you would compare this military number to this military number, StonePlease will actually have the military advantage against BadBoy. But losing all these units here basically meant that he was out of army, and he wasn't able to defend. Alright, so we're gonna go back to the lobby here, and let's see what Barles and StonePlease can go for in game number 3. Debbie just forwarded the charity money to Hungarian shelters. Well, that's great to hear, and indeed, shout out to Debbie, who is doing a bunch of charity streams in which she's actually helping Hungarian and other dog shelters. So yeah, check out Debbie, because the charity streams are always fun. Like there was a show match, I think it was Viper versus Jordan, where you could donate so that one player deletes an army and stuff like that. So there were like specific donation goals for the players to do crazy things. And it was fun. And also on Sunday, there is going to be a charity stream from Debbie with basically, it's not really interviews, it's more like a talk show between quite a lot of people. I think Hera, Viper are involved. Let me open up. And yep, I'm also going to be involved, so I'm actually gonna have an appearance in Debbie's talk show on Sunday. Yeah, it's Hera, Viper, Debbie, Sarah, Odette, and Lil Trouble, who are the confirmed people right now. So that's definitely worth checking out. That's all I know. From the participants, Debbie probably knows a lot. And also I will be there for the talk show, so it's worth checking out. It goes towards charity, so let's go, Debbie. Oh yeah, Ornu will be on Debbie's 12-hour stream, so don't worry about him. He's also going to take his part. Again, shout out to Debbie for doing all this charity work. Alright, next game is being set up, and we're going into Kawasan, which is the second home map of StonePlease and the Barles. Lead a hype emote or not? My emote artist is sick, unfortunately. And yeah, so I have plans. I have quite a lot of plans actually for new emotes, and we have a very nice sub count, to be honest, thanks to the generous donations from a bunch of people, and of course the voluntary resubs as well. So we're at right now 85 subs, which actually means that I have an open emote slot. As I said, my emote artist right now is sick, so she's unable to work on new emotes, but I already have quite a lot of plans. Indeed, hype. Well, apparently the bot is dead. Right now, 0 are subscribed. I can assure you that is incorrect. Because you see a bunch of people with sub badges here, but apparently the bot is having a bad day. It's 85 subs right now, if you're interested in that. Again, thanks everybody for subbing and for gifting subs. It has been a pleasure. $85 submarines, that is correct. 85 submarines. And I think we're actually getting close to having red submarines as well. Because the blue is the standard emote icon, then there is a green and blue, which is the 3 months or 6 months. It's actually the 3 months, I think. 6 months is the green sub icon. I think 9 months is yellow, and 1 year is the red sub icon. So we might have a few of those, but what else we are going to have is a game that is completely frozen here for me. Okay, that's awkward. This sometimes happens, so I'm gonna have to restart my game over here because it is the 1 year is currently gold. Oh, you can check that out? Okay, that's fine. As Sir Lawrence is coming in here as well, just for September. Indeed, this is my sellout time. During September, I think first subs are cheaper. Thanks a lot, Sir Lawrence, as well. And shout out to Sir Lawrence, because he's the one who is doing the overlay work in-game for me. So the reason why the game in-game looks pretty nice is because of Sir Lawrence. Does that not count for gifted subs? I don't know. I don't know if gifted subs count for September. I know that new subs are actually just $5. Wait, no, $4 now. I also know that there's a discount for like purchasing 6 months of sub, because now you can also do that. And then resub as well? Oh, that's cool. So, yep. Basically, September is something that happens every year and gives a great opportunity for people to get some nice emotes for themselves and for streamers to, you know, grow their subscriber base, which is also important for, like, because larger subscriber count means that you can have more emotes on your channel. So the more subs I have at a certain moment, the more emote slots I can unlock. But of course, it's completely voluntary, and I appreciate everybody subbing here, so do not feel obliged to sub. I really appreciate everybody who is watching. In fact, being here, talking to others, being nice, and just watching is actually a lot more important to me than subbing, so don't feel obliged to do that. But we are just gonna have game number 3 over here, in between ACCM and BadBoy, facing off against Barles and StonePlease. This is Empire Wars Duo. Game number 3 in the round of 16s in between these two teams. We're gonna have BadBoy coming in here in Japanese, in blue, and on the other side, 2 tunes for ACCM in green, somewhat surprisingly, to be honest. Other side, we're gonna have Chinese for Barles in yellow, as Folder of Doom is also subbing for 4 months. Thank you so much. And we're gonna have Italians for StonePlease. So no traditional Kawasan picks like Franks, because that's sniped. Aztecs were banned, Lithuanians were sniped as well in the draft. So the very, very strong Kawasan saves are all taken here in this one. And let's see what we are gonna have. This is a very, very aggressive scout over here from StonePlease, just bashing down a house. And it seems like we're gonna have some heavy walls here from StonePlease and Barles. They just want to make sure they don't die. And I guess the plan here is to have a big team wall, because we're gonna have a wall here. And honestly, they could have gone for a team wall. It probably would have been easier than to just wall themselves like that. Or the other thing that they could do is wall here and then wall here. And then this back area is also safe. And you just need to wall this one. So there's a lot of options to wall. And for now, this feels like a pretty passive game. We're gonna have some scouts popping out here. Barles is opening with those. They also have ACCM going for a few Teuton scouts here. That's a fight that's won by Barles though in the middle. I don't think ACCM expected scout to pop out here. And for now, Barles is gonna have the advantage in terms of scout numbers. Look at that zigzaggy wall. That's going to earn some style points for Barles in that one. And in the end, yeah, it seems like he's just gonna wall like this. And it would have been better for StonePlease to wall here at the water, to be honest. It's just much easier to do it that way, and this gold would also be a little bit safer. In the meanwhile, we're gonna have BadBoy walling as well, so this feels like this is gonna go down to being a very, very boomy map for everybody. Now, Teutons will have a great boom over here, and Chinese also gonna have a pretty strong eco. One of the things that is going to make this great for StonePlease, however, is that they have a safe pond at the back, which means that Italians can have a crazy good fish boom on this one. Also, there's a safe pond over here at the back, but this one can actually be docked by StonePlease and Barles if they decide to, because it's not fully walled. This dock is absolutely safe, and that's going to be perfect. Now, Barles will need to wall this one off here in the long run, because the right-hand side of Barles' base is still wide open, as we do have a big scout clash over here in the middle. For now, it seems like ACCM has the numbers advantage, but is he able to do anything with it? I'm not sure. It depends on how long Barles can delay these scouts from hitting his eco, and I think that's the plan. Look at all these walls from Barles. You can tell that this is all about just making sure they don't get into our eco. It doesn't matter that the walls are inefficient and we have to invest a lot into it. Just make sure they can't attack us within our base. That's the whole story here for StonePlease and Barles. That's quite a lot of archers here though from StonePlease. And we haven't talked about the Japanese, which also gonna have a great fish boom if they decide to go for that. And that's the biggest problem here for the Vietnamese team. They're not going for a fish. And in the meanwhile, Barles and StonePlease both will have crazy good fish booms. That's going to translate into a massive advantage in the long run, as ACCM is trying to pick off some reinforcements over here. But that's quite a lot of archers already out there, so I don't think that that is going to be a very great fight. These long walls are very hard to protect, by the way, so repairing this one is almost close to impossible. Because by the time you get a villager in here, the enemy is just going to break through that. Anyways, the walls are set over here on the right side, and Barles will need to make sure he can wall the right side as well, because if not, then all these walls are not worth anything. Let's take a look at this fight. +1 armor and bloodlines for ACCM, just +1 armor for Barles, but no bloodlines, which means that he's eventually going to lose that fight. Luckily for him, he has the HP advantage on the scout, so this isn't going to be a crushing defeat, but it is still a fight that is lost. 3 kills for StonePlease, 11 deaths, because the scouts just tanked all the arrow fire in this one. And as I said, these scouts could try to bash their way in right now. However, in the long run, Barles and StonePlease is gonna have a way better eco. So if you look at this one, 49 and 47 in comparison to 44 and 45, what Barles needs to be super cautious of is the right side. This needs to be walled off, because if ACCM just sends the scouts to the right side, this could be an absolute disaster. And this one is something that should be either palisade plus houses, or double layer palisade, or stone walls. Because single layer palisades, unless you have a villager close by, you will not be able to get there in time to repair it. In the meanwhile, Barles will need to drop a market behind this one. Or, yeah, he does have a market, so that's not really going to work. But he needs to drop something there. Barles, what are you doing? You need something. Just drop a market foundation, have a few hits on it. It appears that he's going to allow those scouts to get into his base, but that's quite a lot of archers reinforcing. All these walls might be worth nothing if these scouts can just roam free here. Now, let's see the fight. Barles also does have the upgrades, and he might actually force these guys back in this one. Spearman also coming in here to help. BadBoy nicely snipes that one down. And in the meanwhile, everybody else is going up into Castle Age. The eco is way better, however, for Barles and StonePlease, and that's always something to pay attention for. Archers getting caught off guard again. That's actually something that happens to both players just before they would be upgraded to crossbows, but I think this is actually worse for StonePlease. He doesn't really have a big army, and he's already getting picked off here. Meanwhile, for Barles, he didn't really manage to pick off quite a lot of archers here, but ACCM, in the meanwhile, also adding fish here, so this means that he's gonna have a great eco. The only player who is not fishing in massive numbers is BadBoy. BadBoy is dropping the shorefish right now. Shorefish? What shorefish? This is a fishing ship. Anyways, crossbows are coming in here right now. Again, the archers are getting picked off just before the crossbowman upgrade. That's a massive disaster for StonePlease, I believe. He just lost his archers just before the crossbow upgrade happened again. Now, Tumbling is coming in here pretty fast for him. I would say that he just needs to regroup in this one, get the Tumbling, get ballistics, and take the fight. Now, the galley is out here for BadBoy. This is something that StonePlease could notice if he actually walks past. And if that happens, he knows that BadBoy is fishing there. And he could actually try to drop a dock there. Now, Tumbling is in, and +2 armor is also coming in here for StonePlease. So suddenly he's gonna have better crossbows. He just needs to make sure he masses a few over here back at home. Walls are set for Barles, and StonePlease still has a massive eco advantage over everybody else in the game. That fish boom is just really kicking in here. And in the meanwhile, we're gonna have triple stable knights coming in here, and it appears that ACCM actually tried to go for a dock. This is going to prompt a War Galley upgrade from Barles. You already have War Galley in here for ACCM, this is why he has fire ships. And the Voyager got picked off. Barles should be able to defend against this one, but I think StonePlease is going to be the player who has to kind of carry this one at the beginning with the superior eco that he has and with the early upgrades that he went for. Meanwhile, Demo coming in here quite fast from ACCM. I'm not sure if this is going to work out well for ACCM. It's just a single dock. Fire galleys here are spread out, so I'm pretty sure that Barles will be able to defend against that one. Knights breaking in here with +1, +2, and those also have +1 melee armor, remember, because they're Teutons. So these are way better than Knights than the ones from Barles. Right now, where are the crossbows at from StonePlease? That's the question. I don't see them anywhere. Apparently they're regrouping on the north and they want to push out here. Second TC coming up here for Barles. And in the meanwhile, he's trying to clean this dock up. ACCM sends a Voyager to repair. I'm not sure if Barles is going to notice that, because for now, we will have Barles and StonePlease focusing over here on the micro. Look at that, that's Promi. Thanks for the follow, welcome over here, one of the Forgotten Empires people. In this one, ACCM pops out with the fire ship, another fire ship comes out. Barles not reacting to this one, and he's going to lose a fire galley. He doesn't have a huge amount of fishing eco here, so it's not the end of the world if he loses that. But still, it's not ideal, and by the time he notices there is trouble, he's kind of lost one ship, and also another one is like half dead. Still, 67 eco for StonePlease. He's by far the most advanced player in terms of economy, and with a fast Imperial, or faster Imperial, from StonePlease. This could be pretty interesting, but speaking of Imperial, this is BadBoy, who is gonna go for a very weak eco, 56 Voyagers only. Fast Imperial here with Japanese, not a lot of eco behind this one, 1 TC build, but that power spike with our blast could actually win you the fight, to be honest. And yeah, I was thinking faster Imperial for StonePlease with 1 TC, just to make sure he can capitalize on the Italian bonus. He's trying to dock the pond of BadBoy, but a few fire galleys isn't really going to do a lot of things here to the fishing ships. And in the meanwhile, Barles is also losing his dock in this one, trying to redock on the right side. But I think what could be a disaster for StonePlease's team is if these guys are upgraded to Arbalest. Now, this is a tricky micro here. The barriers are going to make sure that it's very hard to surround the crossbows, but what is essential right now for StonePlease is to trade off his crossbows to BadBoy's crossbows. By the way, StonePlease is lacking University, I feel like, because those arrows aren't hitting. He has Tumbling but no ballistics. That's so weird. And let's take a look at the upgrades. No attack upgrades on Barles' Knights. Meanwhile, it's +1 attack, and those are Teuton Knights as well. So they are way better for ACCM. But the crossbows are cleaning them up. It appears that BadBoy is pulling back just to make sure he can keep those guys up. I think this is the moment when StonePlease needs to chase, especially once he sees Imperial has hit. He needs to make sure he kills those, or he needs to go back home and make sure he gets up to Imperial, but he's still very, very far away from that. And since he's going to have to invest quite a lot into fish traps here, his fishing eco is going to be idle for some time because it doesn't have a lot of wood to play around with. And there is already Tumbling coming in as well. BadBoy is playing out of his mind in this one. I'm actually hyped for BadBoy and ACCM versus Hera and Leary if that actually happens. And right now it seems like it could happen. This is kind of a moment of truth here for StonePlease. He kind of has to make a decision. Either take this fight right now and kill the crossbows, or run away. they are apparently trying to break into the base of BadBoy, and BadBoy is going for Thumb Ring and Bracer. Arbalest is going to be a tiny bit delayed, and he kind of has to run for his life. Now, if these knights can get a good surround here, it's fine. But they need to kill these crossbows very, very, very soon, because Arb is almost there. And apparently they choose to just retreat. It appears that StonePlease is also gonna go Imperial. He needs to retreat right now. We're gonna have a monastery coming in here for Barles. He tries to pick up the relics as knights are flooding in the middle, by the way. And this is the moment when you have to run away. Neither of the cavalry civilizations are actually close to clicking up into Imperial. Now, it appears that the ACCM is also going for the healing on knights, and more importantly to steal the relics. But this could be a good fight for StonePlease over here. They could pick off the knights before they can really be reinforced by the Arbs, but then you have to run. StonePlease lost the previous game on losing his army before the upgrades kick in. He cannot afford to lose this the same way. Like, they still have some walls, but it's going to be an awful fight. I would say that this is the moment when Barles needs to sacrifice his knights to make sure those crossbows don't die, because if the crossbows die, that's an absolute disaster. They need to live, because you need Arbalest to fight against the Arbalest over here. You need to use the knights to block the knights coming from ACCM in this one. And apparently, BadBoy is a slow following, so this might actually be lucky here for StonePlease and Barles. Because they almost got that army, again, entirely annihilated. Now, let's be honest, StonePlease having a few fire ships over here could actually be annoying for BadBoy. BadBoy is just gonna bash his way through the buildings. Still a little bit more delay needed, 67% towards Imperial only. DC is going to protect a tiny bit. You just need to run. Just run for your life right now. Don't stop. If you can get the Arbalest upgrade, StonePlease is going to have a massive advantage, because he's going to have 93 eco compared to 59, and Barles is also going to be Imperial when ACCM isn't. But this is just a matter of, can you survive until Arbalest kicks in? Oh, this is so tough. Oh man. Imperial Age coming in here as well for ACCM, and while the Japanese Arbs aren't really amazing against the TC, here it is Imperial for StonePlease. Arbalest coming in just now, needs Bracer as well. Okay, Bracer is also on the way, and this is going to force ACCM and BadBoy to run away. By the way, the base of StonePlease is wide open for raiding, and they will just run away now. If Barles can get Cavalier here faster than ACCM, which is a legit possibility, then we could still see an interesting battle. StonePlease coming in here with what could be the doubt test of all doubt castles. Honestly, I feel like this is actually a good move from him, as crazy as it sounds like. He's trying to get this one up. 92, 95, 97, 98, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is an ultimate doubt castle. 99%. It was like something like 47, 80 in terms of HP. But I think that's actually good enough, because what this meant is that StonePlease traded 20 villagers for being able to get his army together. And he's still ahead in terms of economy compared to BadBoy. He's fighting up hills here, which is far from ideal, but this basically forced BadBoy and ACCM to fall back. And StonePlease still has the eco lead compared to BadBoy, and this made him able to save his army, and that's what matters here. +4 armor is coming in for both players, and there is the Cavalier upgrade. This is the moment to shine for Barles and StonePlease. Take the fight while ACCM is still in Castle Age. The castle goes up as well, and remember that Gembos actually deal quite a lot of damage to cavalry over here, and since Teuton cavalry is slow, this is going to be insanely hard for Teutons to fight against. 87 eco for StonePlease, Barles 97, and the weakest eco by far is at BadBoy's side right now. Quite a lot of stables in the middle, and another castle comes in here for Barles in this one. The problem here for Chinese is going to be that Chinese don't have Paladin, and Teutons have a very strong close combat Paladin. It's slow, but it's devastating. But if they can destroy the stables here, then the production of ACCM is going to slow down. There's still quite a lot of stables back at home though, so it's not really a big deal. Cavalier is also coming in here. Trebs on the way. I would say that one thing they could do is push BadBoy, because BadBoy's eco is so weak that he isn't really able to defend alone, and that is going to force ACCM to fight. This is looking okay so far for Barles and StonePlease. They actually have the score lead as well. The score of Barles is actually lower than the one from BadBoy, somewhat surprisingly. And we're gonna have some outposts coming in here for StonePlease. One thing that would be great is being able to pressure the eco of BadBoy from the left side, because that would be devastating here. And what else is devastating is a bunch of orbs taking the fight here. And one of the problems that ACCM is going to face is that if he's unleashing the Paladins, the Arbalasts will just gather in here close to the berries, and to the Knights will not be able to take a good fight over there. So the fact that you can fall back to the middle with the Arbalasts is actually pretty important over here. I would say Cavaliers diving in, they're going straight towards the TC, I believe, and indeed they do so. Meanwhile, on the right side, there is nothing happening. Left side, also nothing happening. All the fight is taking place in the middle. It is full upgrades for both players, I believe. Although, I'm still not convinced that StonePlease has ballistics, to be honest. He does have a university, so I assume he went for that. Anyways, this is still 72 villagers for BadBoy. He's by far the weakest player in terms of economy. And one of the things that StonePlease could do, indeed, is add Genoese crossbows, because those would actually melt this cavalry. Meanwhile, some hill advantage shots as well over here, picks off a few crossbows, and pushing away the enemy from the middle here is going to be insanely hard. Now, it might be worth pointing out that ACCM was able to grab all four relics here, and this fight is being taken by Barles before the Paladin upgrade comes in. And look at Barles, he's gonna go for heavy camel, which is, I think, the perfect move here from him. He knows that Paladins are coming, he's gonna attack into heavy camel. It's gonna take some time, but I mean, he already has all the melee attack upgrades with the exception of Blast Furnace. And he's also going for fletching. Not sure why, but he could actually add a few war galleys here and try to like harass the wood lines over here potentially, because at some point ACCM will need those wood lines even though he has a lot of wood at the back, or just have 3 war galleys here destroy the houses. In the long run that actually pays off. Have like 1 war galley and it slowly destroys houses. It's very annoying for the enemy. Anyways, big fight coming up here. The Arbalasts need to focus down on the Arbs from BadBoy because you want to save the Camels, and this is actually a fight that is being won by the Vietnamese team. Camels will definitely be vulnerable to the Arbs, but question is how many Arbs are going to be there, because BadBoy is going to have a hard time replenishing his army and he's going to lose quite a lot of Arbalast here. 20 Arbs garrisoned inside Barles' castle here by StonePlease, and as I said, BadBoy is going to drop in military quite massively. The castle is just absolutely tearing apart all those Arbs. Heavy Camels just coming in right now, but I feel like if these Arbs go down, the Camels will actually clean this one up. Another castle comes in here, one goes down, and this means that all the Arbs from StonePlease are dead as well. You need the Genoese crossbow, something that StonePlease is just tacking into, but he only has 1 castle to play around with. Tries to push the left side as BadBoy is trying to get a defensive castle up over here, unsuccessful so far. The game's a little bit laggy, but I think it's player-sided lag. Anyways, here is the big fight. That's a lot of Paladins. ACCM has a huge amount of Paladins here, and BadBoy still has quite a lot of Arbs to take this fight, but I mean, fighting beneath castles isn't going to be super great in the long run, and if the Arbalasts just disappear, then the Camels can still take good engagements, but honestly, there isn't really a huge amount of army here for StonePlease and Barles, and if they lose the middle, suddenly things could get really ugly for them. They need to clean up the Arbs and then unleash the Camels. That's basically the only way they can do this, but BadBoy is dropping in military, and that's, I think, where things could actually slip for ACCM and BadBoy. StonePlease coming in here with the Genoese crossbows to reinforce. No elite on those boys, but as I said, if the Arbs go down here, I feel like the Gembos and the Arbs and the Camels can do the job. We'll see, because those 2 castles will actually go down. Left side push coming in here, and this is going to expose BadBoy's left side. Another defensive castle on the way, as trade is going to be set up by Barles and StonePlease. Still, look at this relentless push of those Paladins. They are insanely strong, man. But there is Genoese crossbows coming in to reinforce. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm really not sure about this one, because there is enough Paladins to push this one back, and the problem for Barles is that he's missing Blast Furnace. Without Blast Furnace against 7 melee armor, even Camels aren't amazing, and Barles is gonna have his eco pushed here. Barles is dropping down to 88 villagers, which is the lowest in the game, even though BadBoy was pushed very, very hard. Now it is ACCM helping out here to clean this one up, and things might actually fall apart here for StonePlease and Barles, because now that's a lot of paladins. It's 73 army for ACCM. He's playing like a beast, and we're getting closer and closer to Hera and Leary versus ACCM and BadBoy next round, and that's going to be a gem to watch. Hera and Leary are super strong, but I mean, ACCM and BadBoy also showed extremely great promise over here. Crenellations coming in here for ACCM for some more map control in the middle, and the Camos are just waiting for a right moment to engage, but as I said, no +4 attack, and having this many Arbalasts around, I'm not sure how well they can take this fight. I don't think they can. It's a combined 70 military for Barles and StonePlease, and ACCM alone has 70. Unless they take a miracle fight over here, this is not gonna work. They're losing the middle, and it seems like ACCM and BadBoy are gonna have a 3-0 over here. This is actually an amazing performance from them, and as I said, maybe they can surprise Hera and Leary. Maybe they will lose but have some very, very fun fights. I am sure that that is going to be a gem to look at. They played extremely convincing today. The fact that BadBoy was able to boom back into this one is also outstanding, and ACCM, when BadBoy was a little bit too weak, ACCM was the one carrying this one. Barles is dropping down in military, which means that there's going to be zero mobility to the army, and Genoese crossbows are devastating here to the cavalry, but there is no castle to produce them on right now. And you also have elite skirms pushing on the left side by BadBoy, and look at those siege workshop walls from StonePlease, making sure that there is nothing running into his base, but there is paladins raiding everywhere. Barles is down to 74 eco, unless Barles can do like a miracle reboom. I don't see this one happening. Those Gembos came too late, I believe. If those Gembos are out a little bit faster, then we could have actually seen those paladins being destroyed before they can absolutely devastate the base of Barles. Now this is going to be very, very tough. Now, you can sling whatever you want, so technically StonePlease could actually start to sling Barles, but there's still quite a lot of paladins over here that needs to be cleaned up, and look at that. This is going to be ACCM coming in here with a forward castle. It's not really a super strong wall, so you can get through that with a castle relatively fast. You can even do 2 petards if you want to. Paladin still raiding the eco. Barles is down to 73. And now that BadBoy is up to 130 villagers, he's going to be able to supply the front line with elite skirms and Arbalast, and if he just goes full elite skirm, he can just clean up all these Gembos. I don't think there is a massive chance here for Barles and StonePlease anymore. They lost the middle, and look at that, there's bombard towers coming in here from ACCM as well. Teuton bombard towers, here we go, and they will probably just push towards the trade. ACCM and BadBoy looking extremely sharp so far, and I'm really curious how far they can go. It's pretty unlucky for them that they have to face off against Hera and Leary, but we might see some extremely good series. Still, Yasama Towers, soon Yasama Keeps, and the Teuton Bombard Towers. That's a crazy good duo. That's Yasama coming in here for BadBoy. Anyways, at this point, StonePlease and Barles are just slowly holding, but they are not really alive. I mean, if Barles is given time to reboom, there is a chance for a miracle comeback, but this is still very, very, very far from it. He's rebooming on 4 TCs, and he also has quite a lot of trade being added, so it's not completely impossible he manages to reboom. But in the meanwhile, ACCM is actually going to do fortified walls here. Someone at fortified wall was researched. Not sure who it was. And other thing, we will also have paladins rushing in here. Quite a lot of paladins bashing down the houses. Actually, fortified walls for StonePlease. But there is still an opening here. There is still 2 more castles that can produce Gembos. And being totally honest, I mean, Barles is able to reboom here at least a tiny bit. Still, this should be a game in the hands of ACCM and BadBoy. They have a massive advantage, 2,000 score lead. And, well, I think what matters for StonePlease right now is to get more Jambos out, honestly. 126 eco is pretty rough. And the problem here, as I said, is that Chinese is a good cavalry civ, but not an elite cavalry civ, because they are missing Podin. Now here comes a lot of siege rams. Barles and StonePlease are not actually giving up on this one. Look at the Yasama towers, but honestly, with that many Jambos, siege rams and camels, if the towers go down, this could actually be an interesting fight. Trade Mill Crane coming in here for ACCM as a kind reminder that their opponent's team is actually called Trade Mill Crane. So, this is a fight they have to take. They can't afford to lose the Rams like that. That's for sure. Let's see the fight. Here it comes. Genoese crossbows landing quite a lot of nice crossbows shots over there. And honestly, this is looking pretty solid for StonePlease and Barles. Barles is running out of cavalry over here, but so will ACCM very, very soon. And the Jambos are doing the work. Rams will actually get cleaned up. The problem is that there is still quite a lot of Arbalest over here, but Jambos actually have 5 Pierce Armor in comparison to 4 from Arbalest, and Jambos also have higher HP. So, theoretically, Jambos can actually beat Arbalests in this one, and there is also Siege Ram coming in here. Meanwhile, Siege Onager is on the way for ACCM. He could actually get Ironclad as well against those Genoese crossbows. On the south, there is a few Galleons. Aren't really doing a lot of things, though. And on the right side, Trebs trying to bash their way through the stone walls. Basically, if you lose your trade here, you are dead, though. You can afford to lose your trade, and also, I would like to point out that ACCM has all 5 relics, which is a huge amount of gold available. Look at all those Yasama towers just fortifying the middle. As light cabs are coming in here for Barles, you can tell that he doesn't really have the gold income right now that would be needed to field Cavalier, which is pretty problematic. But Cannon Galleons on the way for StonePlease. I think he wants to contest this left side, as Yasama towers will be the answer on the shoreline. Cannon Galleons, what it could actually achieve is destroy this castle, open up these walls, and maybe transport a few light cabs through. It feels a little bit complicated to do, but if you can get a few light cab into the opponent's trade, that could actually win the game for you. That is indeed Ironclad as well on those onagers. Those are siege onagers now, and it's like one good shot to finish the game right now, basically, for ACCM. But can they finish the game here? That's the question. Because that bombard tower goes down, Jumbo still taking some good engagements. Onagers coming in here. Barles needs a lot more cavalry right now. He's still in the stage of rebooming, but he's getting there. He's slowly rebooming. We're gonna have siege rams coming in here for ACCM, I believe, with bombard towers to push. Some more galleons in the party. Bombard cannons as an answer to the onagers is actually pretty nice, but there is a need for a lot more gold here for Barles, because like Chinese light cav isn't amazing. He needs some heavy cavalry into this one in order to be able to play this efficiently. Let's see what StonePlease wants to do with Cannon Galleon, because I don't see any Cannon Galleons right now. Onagers still could be pretty devastating, but looking at the military numbers, it's StonePlease with 80 military right now, and ACCM and BadBoy only combined for 78. Here it is, Onagers again trying to get the shot as Barles dives in first with the cheap light cav to deal with the Onagers. Onagers are now dead. This is the moment for the Jambos to engage. There's also a few bombard cannons in the party. One goes down to the Arbalest, but this actually looks like a pretty neat fight. There is still, though, a big blob of rams to fight with. Honestly, we could actually get into game number 4 over here, because ACCM is at 21 military, BadBoy has 47, StonePlease has 73. That's an onager, though, and they really need to watch out for those onagers. Their thing is that they need to supply this ram push with something that can kill onagers, because look at this, onagers are just pushing the rams back. And that's a significant concern right now. They just don't have anything against the onagers that would kill them before they kill the rams, and that's a very, very costly loss. But honestly, Barles is back into the game. 135 eco is just as good as everybody else in the game. Shreb's coming in to take that down. Right side, Barles still trying to defend some bombard towers in the party. Probably siege ram counterattack is going to be the plan here for Barles. Left hand side, we're gonna have some cannon galleons trying to do something, but they don't really achieve anything right now, just chilling on the water, having like a vacation in the middle of the pond. Meanwhile, ACCM is going to have probably the... Wait, ACCM, what? Look at that pathfinding. I am pretty sure that these traps are made at this castle and he wants to kill this one. I mean, Barles could just send a few villagers to kill these traps. Indeed, he's doing so. He needs to keep that castle alive. Right now, light cav push, that's a big onager shot on top of the cavalry and they just get absolutely evaporated. Very, very dangerous micro over here for StonePlease. We are gonna have one of the traps go down, the other one is gonna go down as well. Left hand side, also bombard tower push coming in here from ACCM. And just to reiterate this one, there is no time limit in this tournament. So this goes until someone scores a GG. There is the siege ramp counterattack on the right side. As I said, there is no cavalry here from ACCM to deal with that. So that means that he can potentially lose that castle over there. Big fight in the middle. There come the onagers. Traps trying to take down the bombard towers right now. More and more halberdiers in the party for ACCM. And yep, for now, onagers will be destroyed by bombard cannons in this one. I mean, StonePlease and BadBoy, or StonePlease and Barles are actually holding this one. Anyways, that's still a lot of Barles to fight against, and honestly, StonePlease is dropping a military. What's happening to him? I mean, StonePlease is at 162 population and not producing any military. Something happened here. He's probably too focused on microing, but honestly, he needs a lot more army. He needs to be pop-capped, and look at BadBoy pushing this one in. There is one castle going down, something that StonePlease might have not been prepared for. This is why StonePlease's numbers are dropping over here in the middle, because BadBoy is starting to push him now. Quite a lot of traps in the party, and if the castles go down, there is no more gembos, and if there is no more gembos, they cannot really take very efficient fights against the paladins. This isn't a drop, he's still queuing up more units now. I actually suspected a drop here, but no, he's just busy not dying right now. He's queuing up more stuff. Barles going for guard tower approach against the siege onagers in this one. And Barles, in the end, is gonna call it when the Arbalest walk in there. I have to say that in game number 3, StonePlease and Barles made the ACCM and BadBoy run for their money, but this was an absolutely amazing game, as it is. And really credits to BadBoy for rebooming into the game after having a very, very weak eco in mid-game. And ACCM took some very, very good fights with those two paladins. Yeah, this was definitely a fun final game. And despite the fact that in the end, StonePlease and the Barles is going to leave this tournament with a 3-0 outing against ACCM and BadBoy, they actually were able to take some good fights against expert players. ACCM with 54 buildings raised. Barles' KD isn't looking very great, but partially because he went for a lot of light cav, because he kind of had to reboom. In this one, ACCM was a beast in this game though. 52,000 food, just as a reference. Look at that. Best gold income by StonePlease. And also, apparently StonePlease had to sling quite a lot to Barles. 14,000 resources sent here to Barles in order to be able to reboom. Rally gold also kicked in here quite massively for ACCM, having 5 relics for the majority of the game. Barles was controlling only 1 for some small time. But this one was definitely an excellent series. This again will be uploaded to YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully you have enjoyed this one. And I guess I'm gonna see you next time.